Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the people in between. This is Faye TV calling from Reykjavik, Iceland, and addressing a lot of themes that I'm interested in and that you might be interested in too. Today, I am going to talk about a dying art in poetry, which is called pen paling. Yes, there is indeed a verb to that. I didn't know that until I went on Facebook. I've always had pen pals in my childhood and in my youth, especially in my youth because I wanted to learn better English and then French. But I never knew there was a verb to it. I just thought I had pen pals and I wrote letters. But no, there is a verb named pen paling. And I know that the art of writing letters or the art of pen paling sometimes drowns in a pile of stuff. And we're kind of like the obscure monster digging its way through a pile of I don't have time and I need to use my smartphone and I have Facebook all over the place anyway and a pile of money. Everybody needs to make more and more money. Everybody needs to watch his money. And why write letters? We got email. And we even do our tax returns online, so why bother write letters? Well, because in these hectic times, people have forgotten to just sit down and enjoy. I chose to draw a panda because a panda sits most of his life and takes life very slowly. And then as the picture evolved, I decided to put him on a magic carpet because to me, writing a letter is like a magic carpet ride, lifting myself over conventions and getting to know other people on the other side of the planet. It's a very slow and sometimes very mystic ride, and sometimes it's a really rocky ride because not everybody gets along with everybody equally well and so much mail gets lost. But I'm happy about the mail that arrives and brings a little piece of the other side of the world into my living room. Now, pen paling is also a little bit like reconstructing a really old language. It was the language of the poets, Goethe and Schiller and all those people I didn't want to read as a kid wrote a lot of letters to their friends and to their spouses, and I think it took 2 weeks to get from A to B for one letter. Okay, they're still breaking this record nowadays. I had a package coming to me after 1 year. And yeah, shouldn't hide this old language from people because I'm actually writing all over the place in the city and on the bus, and the mail people already know me. But the same thing that goes for an old language also goes for pen paling. There is no precise consensus on how to do what. There is a lot of room for interpretation. And with some interpretations, people can turn into dragons. I know this dragon looks kind of cute, but some battles in pen paling groups on social networks are kind of cute. Like all these ideas about like only use this paper and that pen and only people of this and that nation and whatever, that sometimes can become like an elephant compared to a bunch of little cute ladybugs. But then again, pen paling is not about conquering the moon for oneself, but actually connecting people around the world. Learning to communicate. Okay, I just noticed that these word bubbles without the words almost look like a broken heart. Yes, you can also have a broken heart in pen paling, but it's a learning process. You kind of have to state your expectations towards other people, but then you kind of have to realize that these expectations are mostly not carved in stone, because people are very organic and people are hopefully willing to talk about what they wish. And similar to what I said last week, it's important to make people feel you're there as a person and you have your own personality. Every letter has a personality, and I have most of my letters in boxes. So I say, oh, there are so many people in my mailbox. The mailboxes are full of people, and there is a party in the mailbox, and there is joy and friendship most of the time. But then again, you have to keep in mind this is not called rocket mail, this is called snail mail, and it can take a lot of time for the info to travel. It can be that info by the time it arrives is not up to date anymore, but that's where I kind of had to learn to ask people over the internet if that's still proper. And we're learning from each other to be patient, to feel each other. That's why I actually drew the snail with such big antennas, because the antennas of the snail go ahead. We want to bring each other ahead in life, and we want to be conscious of that we have gone such a long way together. But in the snail mail, my main errand is always to show people that I need alone time. I need the time and the relaxation to draw back in my own shell, because I'm not always the same happy camper, and no one is. So to me, pen paling is also time to think, time to retreat, and time to show to a good friend I'm vulnerable. And I wish you all out there good friendships by whatever way works for you. I wish you a room to be vulnerable. I wish you a shell to protect yourself. And I wish you the courage to admit to that shell and to your vulnerability. And to that what you love, so other people can feel you as a person. Have a lovely weekend, you guys, and send me ideas for themes that you want to hear about. By the way, my sketch notes today are envelopes, because I'm using the envelopes later on. Bye!